Welcome to the Scalpel of Truth podcast, the members-only inner circle club for VIP bachachos, with your host, Leisa Krauss, the bitchin' beautician, also known as the Profit Queen. And don't worry, the cursing and salty language is already included in your club fees. As a business consultant with over 30 years in the industry, Leisa is a no-nonsense profit strategist, international speaker, motivational sales trainer, and thought leader. Known for her bold, unapologetic style, she coaches med spa owners, managers, and providers all over the world to become high-end profit powerhouses. Her practice growth strategies are sharp, her stories even sharper, and her panache for bringing the spice, the sharpest. So get ready to transform your practice into a wildly successful luxury brand. Buckle up, bachachos. Leisa is about to slice and dice another episode of The Scalpel of Truth.
All right, my bachachos, welcome back to the Scalpel of Truth podcast. I'm your host, Leisa Krauss, aka Leisa the Bitchin' Beautician, and around here, I tell the truth about what's actually happening inside the medical aesthetics industry, not the polished Instagram version that makes everything look effortless. Because here's the reality, folks. Some clinics are thriving, and some clinics are growing faster than they've ever grown before, and some clinics are quietly wondering why the fuck the phones aren't ringing like they used to. And today we're going to talk about exactly why that's happening. Because the truth is not complicated at all. The patient has changed. Here's the legal part I need to read. This podcast is presented solely for educational entertainment purposes. Guys, I'm just your beauty business bitch. I'm not a licensed therapist or an HR representative, nor am I a lawyer. This platform's used to share my experiences with what's made me a successful service provider, a manager, and a business consultant for those who I coach. Got it? Beautiful. The patient in 2026 is not the patient of 2023. They are more informed, they are more selective, and they are more educated. And they've got more choices than ever before, which means mediocre clinics are no longer protected by geography or convenience. Patients are researching. They're doing everything they can. They're comparing. They're asking questions. They're coming into consultations with screenshots from TikTok and Google and Reddit and Instagram and everything else under the sun. And they're not guessing anymore. They're choosing. I want to say that again. They are not guessing. They are absolutely choosing. And after 30 years in this industry, working directly with patients for more than 3 decades, consulting inside practices across North America and beyond, I can tell you something that clinic owners really don't want to hear. The patient in 2026 is not confused. They're incredibly clear about what they want. And when they don't find it inside your clinic, they simply go somewhere else. Not necessarily because other providers are more skilled, but because other clinics made them feel more confident in their decision. And confidence is the new currency in aesthetics. Now, here's where things get interesting. Across multiple industry reports, market data trackers, global aesthetic trend analysis, the message is coming out of the data incredibly consistently. Patients today want natural looks. They want natural-looking outcomes, if you will, but they want visible results. They want long-term skin health. They're interested in regenerative medicine. They're thinking about longevity now more than ever before. They want subtle enhancements instead of dramatic changes. But they do want to see what their money's going towards. So they do want there to be a change. You have to produce a result. The industry's been quietly shifting towards natural regenerative preventative aesthetics for several years now. But here's the business side that people forget. The market has also become incredibly crowded, both surgically and non-surgically when it comes to treatments, and continuing to grow. The male aesthetic is exploding. Younger prevention patients are entering the market earlier than ever before. And because of that, patients now have more options, higher expectations than any other time in history of this industry. Which means practices that win in 2026 are not just ones with best injectors. They're ones that have figured out how to deliver something far more powerful. Certainty, convenience, and confidence. Again, certainty, convenience, and confidence. And inside the consulting work that I do with clinics, there are 5 specific things that patients now expect before they ever decide whether they're going to spend money with you, whether they're going to spend their dollars with you, luxury dollars. 5 things that have quietly become the non-negotiables. So I'm going to give you all 5, but not inside the public episode. This is the general teaser because these things are exactly the kind of strategies that I break down inside the Scalpel of Truth Inner Circle Bichacho membership. So that's the paid portion of this. You get the full entire episode. I will tell you this. These 5 non-negotiables determine whether a patient books, whether they convert in consult, and whether they stay loyal to your clinic for years. And if you miss even one of them, you're creating friction in your business, and that costs you revenue every single day. And most clinic owners don't even realize this is happening. Inside the Scalpel of Truth Inner Circle paid portion, we are going to break down the 5 non-negotiable patient demands in 26 and why experience is now more important and more powerful than your service menu, and how younger prevention patients are quietly becoming the highest lifetime value clients in the industry in aesthetics, and how technology is completely changing how patients make decisions before they even step into your clinic. Because here's the truth. In a saturated market, patients do not choose the most skilled clinic. They choose the clinic that makes them feel the most confident about their decisions. And confidence is created long before the syringe ever touches the skin. Mark my words. Now, if you're serious about growing your practice, and if you're serious about understanding what actually drives revenue in this industry, then it's time to stop stepping over dollars to pick up dimes. In the Scalpel of Truth Inner Circle, it really costs less than a trip to Starbucks each week. I honestly, if you are not in and subscribing to this paid portion of the episode where you unlock pearls, tips, and everything, you're not serious. This is the most inexpensive, the most affordable way to get consulting every week in this industry. And inside that membership, you gain access to weekly profit strategies, consulting insights, operational frameworks, growth tactics from someone who has actually spent 3 decades inside this industry. So if you want the full breakdown of what modern patients actually expect in 2026, join us inside the Scalpel of Truth Inner Circle podcast, where we are about to get real on strategy. The link to sign up is in the show notes, and you can go to scalpeloftruth.com. Now, for my Inner Circle members who have already signed up, you're already paying. Here's the thing. You know what time it is. So, let's go.
Don't want to wait to see things stay the way they are.